This is part three of the part one and part two I did before of the most essential five accessories for DIYers, essentials, or whatever. Yeah, like I said, this is part three. So with that, let's start off with the first item. This is a clamp. What do you call a hold for a small bit clamp or small bit holder for small bits. You sort of like put anything small. I've got this magnetizer, demagnetizer, because I can't find any pieces of wood. I just had to clear out and I throw all my small pieces of wood out. So I'm just using this to demonstrate. So if you've got a router table or even a router, your fixed router or something, and you want to router, you don't want to get your fingers in the way, because then you can use this for sanding, polishing, grinding, whatever. It's a essential thing to have, really, if you want to save your fingers. So that's one. That along with that, I'll do this as one, because this is also another essential thing to have, and that is a mole grips. They call them in the UK, but I think in America they call them vice pliers, grip pliers, whatever it is, but you know what I mean. But if you want to hold a something, say you want to hold that to drill a hole in it or something, you just lock it on. So you just have to unscrew this a little bit and it locks on, and then that's to release it. So once you lock it on, it's very hard to move. And then you can also use things like a hacksaw, what they call this, jigsaw blade. So if you want to use that and to cut something, instead of you can just clamp that onto it and use it as a saw. Even things like screws, if you want to chop the heads off or sharpen it, or small pieces of wood. I don't know what's happened over here, the spring is come undone. Anyway, but that's a good tool to have. Then next tool I would say is a right angle drill bit attachment. This is a Milwaukee one, but everyone does a DeWalt do one, Makita, they all do one. There's so many, there's aftermarket ones as well, but it's worth getting a good one, because in here there's a sort of gears and mechanism, they go after a while, after if there's not a good one. But just to give you an idea, it goes in your drill, and you use it for getting into tight corners, tight spaces where you couldn't get with a drill, and so on. What I found with this one is it's got even less. This is an installation drill driver, so that's the right angle attachment which comes with it. So just to give you an idea, if I can get this on, I think you might have to use another bit to get this on. Let's have a look. This one, what is this going on? Yeah, so you look at the right angle drill attachment on here, and if you look at the form factor between that and that, just to show you, it's much smaller, this one, especially when you put the bit on here. It makes it so much bigger. So it's worth having, and I'll do another video on sort of top essentials to have with your drill. So that's a good thing to have for tight spaces and so on. It's called a right angle drill driver. You can also use it for if sometimes when you want to get a screw right in the corner with your drill, it's very hard to get in there unless you tilt it and then it goes at an angle. This one you can get quite close compared to your drill. You can see the difference. I put those two together. Yeah, so that's that. The next item I would say is a flashlight. There's so many times, even during the day, there's in the house, there's dark corners, dark spaces, especially if you're like me. My sight's not the best, so to look at it for your pencil marks and so on. Even if you use it on a hat, these are two I'm just showing you. They're the Woburn ones. This one's the Woburn X something it's called, and you got this tilting it tilts the head around, so you can have it straight or horizontal like that. And you've got a cap clip, so if you can attach it to your cap, and when you're sort of working in tight spaces. You also got, this one's the same, and it's got with this one you can change the looms on there, but that's not the point of this. You also got this one as well. This has got the same thing, clip. This also comes, if you go on the Woburn side, it comes with a headband as well, and with a sensor and so on. So there's that, and this goes up to 1800 looms, so it's quite bright. But least, and one of my favorites is this one, and that's because when you're working on a project and you're sanding, so you know where to sand when you do your pencil marks, where you're taking off more and less. This is, you want something that spreads the light. This you put on your work where you're working. If you want to see any marks, measurements, anything, it's brilliant. I use that. I grab this all the time. Even for my videos. Today I'm not using it because I'm showing it to you, but usually I even use it for my videos. This also works good as a night light because it's got settings on it, so you can sort of dim it down and brighten it. You can even have different modes. I think more of a cool light, I think in the middle section, a sort of cool. It's got some modes on it. I don't know how you do it, but I think, I don't know, but it's got a setting on it. I'll have to sort of go through that afterwards, but this is a good one. It also goes in a tripod. It comes off. Let's switch it off. It comes off your tripod, and it's got a magnet at the back, magnet attachment, so it sticks to stuff as well. So you can use this as so that's the third item. The fourth item is a depth gauge. This is good for router tables or routers when you want to get the depth right of your router bit to cut. And it's you zero it, and then as you sort of move, you can get, and it's got the measurements in metric and imperial as well. So and that's good. Even for your saw blades, whatever, depth gauges are good to have. And the last but not least is a tape measure. This is a relatively cheap one, but I had some good ones, and they seem to have legs for some reason. I don't know, but tape measure is always what you need when you go to the timber merchants or the timber yard or the wood shop, whatever you call them. When you go to get, you need to get your measurements and get your wood. It's a good handy sort of thing to have. Tape measures a must. And one final bonus thing is a pen. This particular one is made by Pentel, and it's got it's a 3-in-1 pencil. So it's got a red, black, and also a pencil as well. So if you got, there's a red ink, that's a pencil, and then you got black ink as well. And it's one of my favorite little things, really. It's really nice, and you can do all your projects with it. It's always handy to have. So yes, that's the 5 essential things for any DIY woodworker, accessories and so on. This is part 3, and without, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.